Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Sierra Nevada Vienna Lager. I thought this beer just came out in 2014. It's the first time I've seen it in the fall pack. But no, I was looking on Beer Advocate and they have ratings going back to 2006. So from what I understand, it's an occasional beer. Sometimes they put it out. It says packaged on July 22nd, 2014. Good. I bought this at Trader Joe's in Baton Rouge, and it was in singles. They had this and another one. It was $1.50, okay, which is not bad for a single. This one in the Oktoberfest, so I'm going to do that one next. As far as the ingredients, oh, let me get, I'll write some of this stuff down. I can't remember everything. 5.3% alcohol, pretty high for a Vienna lager, I think. Usually Vienna lagers like the Dos Equis Ambar and Victoria from Mexico, they're in the fours, low fours. 28 international bitterness units. They use Vienna, Munchen, and Cara red barley malts. Bravo and Mandarina are the bittering hops, and Mandarina and Crystal are the dry hops. It gets a very good score on Beer Advocate. Bros, haven't looked at it. No shock there. 81 out of 100 on rate beer, 99 out of 100 for the style of Vienna lager. So pretty good scores. I've never had it. I'm curious to try it, so let's go with it. Late start. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Alright. But I was busy oh, look at all that smoke. I was busy setting up the page for the Samuel Adams Boston Lager examination on the Hangouts on air, so. Ooh-wee. Look at that thick, off-white head. And that's a very clear amber appearance. It looks kind of like Dos Equis Ambar or Victoria. But it's going to have a lot more alcohol and probably going to have a richer, fuller flavor. Although I do like the Victoria especially. The aroma is, it's going to sound silly, but it smells like beer, like just standardized American beer. Good smell though, because I like that smell. There's some, but there's more to it as the bouquet develops, right? Like there's some hop resins, some nuttiness, maltiness, and other assorted wonderfulnesses. Oh, I like this one. Maltiness. There's some of that tannic that you get with like red beers, like George Killian's Irish Red Lager, or like Murphy's Red Ale. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit, which is becoming a rare one, I think. The mouthfeel is light and watery. The finish is pretty dry. And there's sweetness, but not, you know, it's not overly sweet. It's just like almost perfectly sweet. There's malt, a little nuttiness or that tannic quality also going along with it. A noticeable bitterness, but not a pronounced bitterness. Everything here is subtle. It's low profile. This is not an extreme beer or an intense beer by any stretch of the imagination. I think in some ways people are getting tired of all these extreme beers. Everything has to be a nuclear explosion. But sometimes people just want a nice mellow beer, and there's subtle things to pick up, and this one has that. So it is not dull. If you're just barging through beer like a bull in a china shop, you're going to think half the stuff out there is dull. But if you sit back and you take time to reflect upon it, you'll realize that just because it's subtle doesn't mean it's dull. It is very flavorful and it's enjoyable, and I would give it a solid A. Most excellent. People make fun of me saying that. Most excellent. You're always saying most excellent. I get that from The Beer and Me because that's their grading system I copied. And I thought it was a good system. It would be an A. Most excellent. A minus would be excellent. A plus would be outstanding. It's just there are so many A beers, so yeah, and I think it's going to get more with it as I drink it down. So this is a Dynamite beer from a Dynamite company. I don't have too many artifacts left. Or as I was saying before, months ago, relics. Somebody said, don't call them relics because some of this stuff, people think you venerate it. Which, that's right. Artifact is just a neutral thing. It's just, it exists. I own it. I don't venerate it. Here's some old books. None Dare Call It Treason was from 1968, John Stormer. I don't know if he's still alive. He was in a suburb of St. Louis, and he ran a Christian school, like fundamentalist Christian school, and he wrote right-wing books, mostly affiliated with the John Birch Society, which had a lot of influence from Cook or Koch or Cook Industries. Yeah, it smells like an old paperback book. But this had a lot to do with, it was almost like an independent book that was like in an oblique way trying to promote Barry Goldwater's campaign for president. And in Goldwater, there was a big, like, sort of old-time conservative movement to get him in the nomination. Then when he was nominated, turns out he really wasn't that conservative, but when he was nominated, the Republican establishment worked with the Democrats to destroy his campaign, and it did work. And he got beat very badly by Johnson. But it's an interesting book, None Dare Call It Treason. It's the same old story, communist influence in American government. He followed it up in 1968 with another book that wasn't too good. I read it. That one is interesting. He and Phyllis Schlafly wrote kind of a 1-2 punch. This one was Death of a Nation. It's just about what was going on in 1968. It's okay. It's not the greatest. Here's a little book. I remember seeing this actually when this was out as a little kid. I remember seeing this at different places. 1971. Gary Allen, None Dare Call It Conspiracy. He wrote along with a guy, Larry Abraham. And it was all about the people who they thought were rats in the government. And I mean just bad people. And it's all about the Council on Foreign Relations, how they allegedly control the government, all that kind of stuff. You've seen it a million times. All the little symbols, you know, that they associated with conspiracy. Although, I don't want to get into all that. There's some symbols they don't put for tactical reasons or whatever. But anyway, this beer is good. Most excellent. So if you get a chance, buy it and try it. You're probably going to like it. Thank you for watching this video production. Les bon temps roulé, and y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.